What it is? How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a retrospective on, you guessed it, SpongeBob SquarePants, the show that inspired all three of us as co-hosts. We're going to be talking about all the things. Talk about Patrick Star, Mr. Krabs, Mrs. Puff, and of course the man himself, or Sponge himself, should I say, SpongeBob. So if you want to hear what we have to say, sit back, relax, grab a beverage, grab a snack, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hey everyone, welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. My name is Jonathan. I am here with my lovely fellow co-hosts, Jerome and Alex. How are y'all doing today?
Jerome?
Doing good. I have a comics update. I've been picking up a lot of comics.
Have a comic haul?
Yeah, I have some here. So first we got I don't know who this writer is, or actually never mind, I do. Joshua Williamson. I do know who he is. Not personally, but I've read his stuff. But he wrote a new book called The Rogues, which is about the Flash villains. So this first one's about Captain Cold. I am super excited to read it. I have no clue what it's about, and I normally don't read about the Rogues because I don't really read Flash, but I'm curious to see what it is. Also, I've been keeping up with my Moon Knight, but I'll have you know, though, I was reading it before the show started, but the show, and because I'm not really loving the show that much, the book has been a nice reliever for me.
Hey, when you find the one with Dracula in it, can I borrow it?
If I do, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
I don't have it.
I haven't made effort to find it, but go on.
I also got the newest issue of Wonder Woman Historia, which I'm loving this series by Kelly Sudaconic. It's fantastic. Also, I love the covers so far. The first cover was beautiful. This cover is beautiful.
That cover is gorgeous.
So I am excited. Even the art in this is gorgeous. Look at this art. Look how good this looks.
That is, it almost looks like it's glowing.
Yeah.
That's so well done.
It is beautiful. The art in this is so incredible. So if you're not reading Wonder Woman Historia, read Wonder Woman Historia at your local comic book store. And lastly, I picked up a classic Batman universe because Batman. So plus I've already read Batman universe, but I never owned it. So now it's like I actually own the book.
You have it forever.
Yeah, and I've been rereading it. It's really good. And that's by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Nick Darrington. So yeah. So
for a second, I thought you were going to say it's by Brian McKnight. I was going to be
no, not Brian McKnight. Brian is, I think, very busy making some R&B jams in the meantime. All right, one more.
Is he still though?
One more Wonder Woman story page. Look at this.
Wow. Awesome. Describe what it is for the audio listeners.
So right now, at least this page, there's a giant woman and there's a bunch of birds flying around, and she's shooting feathers and stuff. So
nice.
I hope that just inspires you to want to know what I'm talking about and pick up Wonder Woman Historia. For those who don't know, it is the story of this book is not so much about Wonder Woman, though. It's more about the history of the Amazons and how they came to be. And Wonder Woman's mother, Hippolyta, is more or less the main character. So
nice. Alex, how are you doing?
Not bad. Still working my new job. A little confusing over there, as I was telling you guys earlier. It's a smaller practice. I'm still doing the same job as a medical person, where I just kind of do all that fun little boring stuff. But it's just still weird because I'm now the only one in my office, like Monday through Wednesday. I'm all by myself. But the office is split between a lovely dermatology department. And the girl who sits like right behind me at the same desk, she's so sweet. Her name's Allie. And also, I don't know if I introduced them last episode or not, but fish. I don't think I had names for them.
You didn't have a name for the third one. I opted Tony, but I was not taken up on that offer.
Not Tony. Yaskier, I think the middle one's Yaskier. He likes to swim in the middle. Yaskier, Gus, and then Sushi. My stepdad picked out the Sushi one. I think he was making a joke, but I was like, I actually like it. And also, another big thing in my life is I got a new chair. It's a gamer chair. I know. I don't know if you all noticed that there was no sound when I moved, which I'm always really happy for. And it no longer feels like I'm on a balancing board, which, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. It's something you would want in a chair. Gamer chairs are expensive, but like,
They're
even if
worth
you're
it.
not a gamer, totally worth it. Like, money well spent. I'm so comfortable. I'm gonna start buying just gamer stuff because it's like I realized too, like it's speedy stuff, like it's well connected, it's well made because it's meant to like last hours and stuff. So like I'm gonna eventually have a whole gamer setup, and I'm not a gamer at all.
You're gonna be having a Twitch.
Yeah, I have
Oh
a
yeah,
Twitch.
well yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
right.
did make one. I did
You
make one.
did.
I'm gonna try to do like just streaming terrible movies that I love to watch and nobody watches with me. Maybe I'll finally get people to watch it with me.
Hey.
Oh,
Speaking of which,
and
though, the first ones to die is getting a Twitch as well. That me and Alex will take care of that. But if you have any recommendations on what you want us to stream on it, as far as like whether that be video game stuff or movie stuff or just like maybe behind the scenes stuff for the podcast, if you want that, let us know. Comment below. Tell us what you're thinking. Or, email us at thefirstones2die@gmail.com and tell us if you have any recommendations for stuff you want to see on our Twitch channel once it gets like made and stuff.
also one last thing. It was my birthday last weekend. It was
Happy
super-
belated birthday, Alex.
Thank you. I got to throw axes with my sister and her wife and her roommate. It was super fun. So much
I
more
saw that on
difficult than I
Instagram.
anticipated. Yeah, so much more difficult than I anticipated. But so much fun. And then like we got to do some trick shots where you throw like double axes and like you look really cool doing it. But like it's gonna
It's hard.
bounce at you most of the time because you don't hit it into the wall, so it bounces back. The amount of fear I felt sometimes when like my sister, mainly it was my sister-in-law, because she would throw so aggressively, and I get startled because sometimes it bounced back. I'm like, oh my god, no.
I've seen a video, I think on TikTok, of a girl throwing one and then it just bounces right back, like over, like
Ooh.
nearly missing her.
I had
over
to
her head.
tell my sister, like she would throw it and then it hadn't landed on the floor just yet. And she started walking toward it. And I yelled at her, I'm like, wait until it hits the floor and then go for it. Stop like walking towards it after it bounces immediately. I was like, absolutely not. Also, my mommy got me this really pretty locket. I don't know if anybody can see it. I haven't put a picture in it yet. It's gonna hold Snowball and Cheddar's photo.
Oh.
Because I don't like people, so it's gonna hold my cats. But it's really pretty. It's a little tree. I don't know. There you go. But I really love it, and I'm wearing it now with Snowball's paw. So I'm wearing it to get used to it because I'm not a jewelry person, but I always wear the necklace now. So it's like interesting to have like more on it. But other than that, it's not a bit bad. It's not have English is hard. Like I'm from here. I'm born in the States. It has not been a bad week. And sometimes boring is super nice. So like I've had a relaxing, nothing bad happened, nothing good happened, just like week, and I think it's great. But what about you, Jonathan? What's going on with you? You weren't here last week, so
I was not. I was in New York last week or this weekend. It was a mess getting there. It took almost 14 hours. With flight delays and stuff. But once I was actually there, it was great. Nice. Went to Madame Tussauds in New York. I posted a picture with the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris figures, and a few people were like, "What? What happened? How did you get to meet them?" And I had to explain. Yeah, they're wax. I think Alex, you mentioned you mentioned something like
it was the one with you and The Rock.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It freaked me out. I was like, you genuinely can't tell that's not a person. And then looking at you both, honestly, you look more like the wax figure because there was like, I don't know, there was something just it was so realistic. I was like, I feel like I know Jonathan's real, but now I'm doubting myself. I'm like, maybe you're the wax figure. Maybe that's what you were doing in New York. You had a wax figure made of you.
Right. Hey, who knows? Stay tuned. I also saw a couple of shows. I had a ticket to see Macbeth with Daniel Craig, but he had COVID, so the performance was canceled. And I had heard that the shows were back on, but like because he was going to be out through Thursday, and I had heard that they had like begun playing again, but like they canceled it last minute. But I ended up seeing
mention the Denzel Washington movie when you said Macbeth.
No, I haven't seen that yet, but I do want to watch it. I can't tell if Alex is frozen or if she's just in this position. I think she's frozen.
She's frozen. Yeah, she's frozen because she would have reacted by now.
There she goes.
And we lost her. Oh, wait. All right. Isn't that what the second time this has happened?
Like, yeah, it happened.
Didn't this happen last time you were here too?
Yeah.
Well, I say it like you're a guest. No, like last time you were in town and able to be on the episode. She disappeared.
Yeah. But in the place of Macbeth, I got to see a show about Nina Simone, which was really cool. It was a really good show.
Nice. Was it called like Nina or something?
It was called Little Girl Blue, which is the name of one of her songs, and it was basically
that's fun.
Yeah, and it was basically like you were the first act or the first half is like you're at one of her shows in the 60s, and then the second half is like you're at one of the shows in the 70s, and there's this whole like plot and everything. But it's like you're watching a concert basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Cool. I was gonna just play it off, but okay. Eventually, I'm gonna make a compilation of all the times my internet has cut out on me.
I couldn't tell if you were frozen or if you were just like very stoic.
And that's why I posted that video of why I should never do the intro. Because my face at the beginning while you guys are talking, it's not that I'm uninterested in what you're saying. I just stare like blankly at things, or I'm like trying to finish something up. Honestly, that Batman review we did, I don't know where I was looking because my eyes are upward. I noticed that while you were saying the intro, I was like, I don't know where I don't know what I was looking at. So that's fair. You don't know if I'm frozen. I disappear.
Yeah. But that was my the other thing I was gonna say is tomorrow I'm gonna be seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I gotta see that too. That's on my list.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I want to see it though.
Not yet.
So
I gotta.
Everyone's talking about it, and it's been on my radar, so I've got my ticket. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow at the TCL theater.
You know me, I always love a good time travel multi-universe film.
I have to say there's no time travel. There is multiverse though.
Multiverse time travel, because I believe time travel is part of the multiverse thing. You have to have time travel to do the multiverse.
Keep making up all these time travel rules like you know time travel.
I didn't say it was a rule, but mostly, why is the multiverse in effect? Because somebody messed up something.
Anyway, where we are going to time travel to is the year 1999 when SpongeBob SquarePants premiered on Nickelodeon. You like that?
This is why we couldn't stay on topic in the last episode. We did not have Jonathan there.
We need to stay on topic. It's a Magic Jar episode. There is no topic to stay on.
There are some topics. Yes, SpongeBob.
Yes, today is our SpongeBob episode. You might have heard SpongeBob references if you've been a long-time listener of the podcast. We've definitely referenced SpongeBob a few times. We had a whole segment arguing whether or not Squidward was a villain or anti-hero. And so we thought it might be fitting to just have an entire SpongeBob episode. If you know us, we like to make SpongeBob references. So we thought we would, do an episode dedicated to our favorite sea sponge. If you don't know what SpongeBob is, and I don't know how
You're
you wouldn't.
probably a toddler, and tell your parents to turn this off because it is not a podcast bit for your age.
It really
Okay,
isn't.
because
Even toddlers know who
that's mainly
SpongeBob
my
is.
fault. That's
because
mainly
there's
my fault.
the only people who don't know who SpongeBob are like too little to understand.
Or maybe they don't live in a country that SpongeBob airs in, although SpongeBob airs
I'm
like
about to say
everywhere.
SpongeBob airs in every single country. And he's a pop culture icon. Like, even if you've never seen the show, you've seen a backpack or a t-shirt or a meme.
That's your
or
first piece of
something.
merch.
Like, you've seen something with SpongeBob's face on it.
SpongeBob is viewed in 170 countries, speaking 24 languages, and has become a killer merchandising app.
Wow.
I don't
That's
know
not
why-
all the countries though. So if you live in one of those countries that's not one of the how many did you say?
170.
If you live in one of those not 170 countries.
All I can think now is the Animaniacs. That song.
Oh, all the countries.
Yeah, I
couldn't do
know.
that.
I failed geography, so I can't even I know the tune well enough. But
Also, if you remember from our last episode, we said our next review would actually be Sonic. You're just gonna have to wait another week for that. They're doing this week, and then
we
Sonic
have
will come
lives, people.
at some point. I promise you, we will do Sonic, but just not right
You
now.
you probably saw it because I know it was a box office smash. So just be patient, okay? Patience is virtue. All right.
love Sonic. Sonic was one of the games I always played. And like SpongeBob, I always loved SpongeBob. I always watched him.
Yes, SpongeBob is an animated comedy television series created by marine science educator and animator Steven Hillenberg for Nickelodeon. It chronicles the adventures of the title character and his aquatic friends in the fictional underwater city of Bikini Bottom. It is the 5th longest running American animated series, and it is the highest rated series to air on Nickelodeon, and as well as the most profitable property for Paramount, having generated $13 billion in merchandising as of 2019.
Damn. I'm surprised it's only the 5th longest running animated show. I know like The Simpsons, I think, is like number 1.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see it brings me to a list of all the longest running shows.
Number 1. South Park is probably up there.
Is South Park still going?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why?
Because
who's watching it still?
Tons of people. It's because it still stays relevant by being about whatever's going on. Like their last special they did was like about COVID.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. It was never funny to me, but what's up?
Arthur is the 2nd longest
that makes sense.
Animated.
Arthur's been
at 25. And it just ended this year.
I know. Oh my God. I loved it because they ended it with the Arthur writing a book about his life. It was so cute.
Oh.
Yeah, Arthur, that makes sense. Probably also Blue's Clues might be up there. If
they're doing
South
a Blue's
Park.
Clues movie. I know. Really I saw excited. That. Oh my God.
I saw that they were like casting for it.
See, I don't know though, because I'm thinking about.
Or no, wait, were they? No, they weren't casting for it. That was never mind. That was something else.
I'm thinking about Clifford, and I'm like, Clifford didn't make a whole lot of money.
No, but this is different.
But it's gonna be like the Spider-Man. Spoiler alert for Spider-Man No Way Home if you haven't seen it. But it's gonna be like the Spider-Man No Way Home of Blue's Clues, where they're gonna have Steve, Joe, and the new guy. I can't remember his name. What's the new guy's name?
I don't know.
Josh. It's Josh.
There's been pictures of all 3 of them, yeah.
And so it's gonna be like bringing all the worlds together, even though they live in the same.
I'm about to say universe, they all exist in the same universe. He just got busy.
The reason I think it's gonna be bigger is because more people our age really loved Blue's Clues, and when Steve came back and like joined again, everybody felt emotional. I won't lie. There's Steve. I don't know what his real name is. Steve Blue's Clues does a TikTok where he just like listens to you. And there were been a couple of times I was like, it was a bad day, and that popped up on my TikTok, and I was just like, I was like, to have Steve tell me I'm doing a good job. I'm like, it just hit too much to my heart. I was like, all right. There's
I
too
saw that
many
video.
feels.
It was like that was a heart-wrenching video.
They made me feel.
But the order for animated series is Simpsons, then Arthur, then South Park, Family Guy, then SpongeBob. You'll never guess what number 6 is. Just take a guess at what
Futurama.
number 6 is. Nope.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
It's Cyber Chase.
Oh,
The hell is
The show
I
on
don't think
six.
I've never saw that.
I've
The show
never
on-
seen
on-
it. I've
on
heard of
PBS.
it though.
I watched.
heard of it.
I remember. I think I watched a couple episodes in like elementary school, like in school, and I would catch like it would never be a show that I would like actively want to watch. It would always be on in the background, like after school or whatever. But yeah, that's the 6th longest animated show
I feel
in
like
history.
if they had, because I wonder if Adventure Time could ever make that list. And the only reason why I say that is because I know that the main show has ended, but they've now consistently been releasing these like films on HBO Max that are like continuations of the Adventure Time story. So I'm like, would those count?
What?
Yeah, there's like 4 of them. They're about different characters. One's like about Peppermint Butler and some other stuff. he's
What?
been doing. Another one's about Marceline and Princess Bubblegum, and they go on an adventure. Yeah, they're on HBO Max exclusively, so that's the only place you can find them.
Open up
But,
faster. Okay, internet. What?
Yeah, how have you not heard about these if you're an Adventure Time fan?
Oh my God, you're right. Distant Lands. I feel like this could be more. So there's like almost like a sequel because there's another one. Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah, there's a couple of them, a couple different ones.
I've been preoccupied. Not really. I don't have much going on in my life. I don't know. I don't look in the cartoon section when I'm in there. I either go. I've been watching. I told you only a few shows on HBO Max, and our
You're
flag
missing
means
out.
death.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna watch
HBO
them
Max
today.
is where I'm saying HBO Max just in general is like has been killing it. with
Well, no,
content.
I watched like no, our flag means death. I ranted about it. It's such a good show. I really love it. Righteous Gemstones was so good, and there's another one now. Oh no, I think it's on Hulu. Anyway, we're off topic.
Well,
again.
you know what's on Paramount Plus is SpongeBob SquarePants. Not HBO Max, but Paramount Plus.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah, to get back on topic.
Basically, so Alex and Jerome visited me in LA last year, and on one of the nights, I think it was after we went to Universal or something, we were like, let's watch a movie or something. And what movie do we end up putting on? We put on SpongeBob SquarePants. What's the subtitle of the show?
Sponge on the Run.
Sponge on the Run. It's
Sponge on the Run.
It's the most recent SpongeBob movie. It was interesting. It was weird. It wasn't my favorite piece of SpongeBob content. But you know, it's SpongeBob nonetheless. So
I will admit, we were mostly confused a lot. Like we laughed, but we were mostly confused. Like, what the hell?
It was confusing.
Because Danny Trejo comes out of nowhere.
Uh-huh. Keanu Reeves has a full-on role in the film, like integral role in the film. We thought he was just a cameo when he first popped up.
Yeah, he's in a tumbleweed, and we're like, oh, okay, he's just there in the like Western scene. Cool.
He's a tumbleweed made of sage, which is why he's called Sage in the movie.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember that part. I love Keanu Reeves. Yeah. It was a weird movie, but I mean, it was so enjoyable. It's so weird now, though, to see the type of animation they put SpongeBob in, because I love and I don't love that old style 2D, way. And it's like, oh, now he looks like an actual plastic item that you can touch. But I'm like it loses some of the roughness of the sponge. You know what I mean? Like he looks very smooth now.
Well, and now they have those that new SpongeBob series. I think it's called Camp Coral. Where it's all digitally animated or all or what's it called?
CGI?
Computer animated.
3D
Yeah, computer
animated,
animated. So yeah.
Which I mean, it's no different than Total Drama Island did the same thing, where their new series, like the series is about like adults, and now they were like, but what about if they were kids and they knew each other? And so Camp Coral's the same thing. It's like, what if the SpongeBob characters were all kids? Which, in fact, didn't we realize that that's what the movie was? Like Sponge on the Run was
yeah,
just
it was
a way
definitely
yeah, it was just
it was
like a
retcon
like a
that
commercial.
everybody
Yeah.
had met each other at camp. To which I'm like, that's not true, because I remember the episode when Sandy came to town for the first time ever. So there's no way that SpongeBob met Sandy at camp.
Unless
or Mr. Krabs, who's like way older than them.
Unless they forgot that they met somehow.
Squidward's also older than them too. Squidward and Mr. Krabs are older.
Right, they're older than SpongeBob and Patrick. At least that's the way they imply it.
Yeah, no, Mr. Krabs is definitely like in his 60s or something, or maybe 70s.
He has a daughter that's like
a whole child,
close enough age with SpongeBob.
Right,
which
they went to prom together.
Yeah, I was
that's
like, they
still
went
a question on how they. Yes.
I know. I love that running gag in the series. It's like, who was Pearl's mom? That he is a crab and she is a whale.
Which that's the thing too. Shout out to like all the voice actors in SpongeBob are just incredible. Especially, I mean, granted, you can't go wrong when you've got Tom Kenny playing the main character. Like Tom Kenny is the man of a million voices. Like the dude has been everybody and anybody. He's Professor Utonium in Powerpuff. He's also the narrator in Powerpuff, and he's the mayor in Powerpuff. Like when you have that type of talent, like you can't go wrong.
So distinct too. Like some of them sound the same, similar, but he is able to go different places with his voice that are just really impressive. Like I didn't know for the longest time when I was a kid that he also played Patchy the pirate as well, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, and he's the narrator in SpongeBob too. Like the guy who does the
French voice.
Hours later, like that's him, and SpongeBob, and many other like random voices throughout the series. Like
I watched an interview with him and hold on, let me get Bill Fargerbuck.
Oh, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. And Tom Kenny was like, "Yeah, I don't even remember half the stuff I was in anymore." He's like, my kids will be like, "Hey, Dad, were you in this?" Or like, "Hey, this kind of sounds like you. Was this you?" He's like, "I don't actually remember." And he'll have to look himself up. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, I guess that's me." He's like, "Good job catching my voice." He's like, "I didn't even realize it was me." So this man has been in so many cartoons.
With being booked and busy.
Well, it's because he stays in like him, because it's like him and D. Bradley Baker are like the two like ultimate cartoon voice actors, because they can do like anything. They can be animals, they can be creatures, they can be people. Like they don't
forget Tara Strong.
I'll give you that. Yeah, Tara Strong also. She is incredible too.
She plays one of my favorite characters.
She also and she also plays Dill in Rugrats, the baby, the youngest.
My favorite thing she's done is, well, two favorite is one, Raven in Teen Titans, and two, playing Bubbles in Powerpuff Girls.
You would like Raven.
Raven's cool. And also, you would like Raven too. She's like works with demons and stuff. That's like your whole thing.
I don't work with demons. I just have one that hangs around sometimes.
I'm just saying, like, that's her bag. If anything, she should be also your favorite character. What, you like Starfire? Is that your favorite character?
I don't know who these characters is. Starfire the orange one?
Yeah.
And we gotta give a shout out to Cree Summer as well.
Do we though? Because Cree Summer has gotten plenty of work, but Cree Summer does the same voice in everything.
Cree Summer.
Okay, you gonna knock the only person of color that we mentioned so far.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to give a person of color like recognition for being in a whole bunch of cartoons,
we can't be selective.
Look no further than my man Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar is the man when it comes to
I
being.
will give it up to
cartoons.
Phil Lamar because
That's what I'm saying.
He is in Adventure Time. He was in Futurama. He's in he's been in Family Guy. I know he's been in Gumball. Amazing World of Gumball. Or the Amazing World.
The thing about Cree Summer is that okay, you have voice actors like Tom Kenny and Tara Strong and the other people that we've mentioned who can do different unique voices, but someone who already has a unique voice of their own, all they have to do is manipulate it slightly and it already sounds like a character. Like they don't have to do these crazy things to get to a character voice. Like you just listen to some people talk on the street. I'm sure you've heard somebody talk and be like, and in your mind, you're like, you should be a voice actor or voice actress. That's because they already have a unique voice. They don't have to like manipulate their voice in crazy ways. So I give Cree Summer credit for that.
No,
I give her credit because I do see the work she does. Yeah.
No, she's a great voice actress. She's done amazing stuff. She plays my favorite Kids Next Door, number 5. Like I give Cree Summer all the credit in the world. I'm just saying, like, we're talking about people who can play like animals and stuff and do and do all these other like extra things that I don't think Cree Summer, her voice just isn't built for that. She is great at what she does in particular. But when you get into Tom Kenny territory, it's like, you got to come with it.
She was in The Weekenders. Oh my God, I love that show. Did you guys ever watch
Summer,
that?
Though, no, I never saw The Weekenders. I know of it, never saw it.
It was such a good show. I loved it. We still make, it was me, my mom, and my sister really love it, and we'll still make like comments from it. Like we'll still reference it so much, and it's been like so long now.
Yeah, Cree Summer for me is in that same boat as people like a H. John Benjamin and God dang it, who's the other person I'm thinking of? Well, Clancy Brown is probably in that category too, because Clancy Brown also, he uses the same voice for everything, but he's just got such a distinct voice, so he's great. Like, you know, those guys where it's like their voice is just so unique. They know they can't do like a bunch of other stuff because their voice is just so identifiable. You would know it's not like, you know, as flexible, but that's what makes it so awesome and unique, is that they can play these amazing characters using just their natural, normal voice, speaking voice.
And fun fact, if you can't tell from the fact that I have to look everybody up, I am not an actor nor a screenwriter person nor anything to do with this industry. So I have no idea who you guys are saying or who you're talking about.
Well, it's tough because like voice, and we'll get on to SpongeBob one of these days, we promise. But voice,
voice acting gets a bad rep. Nobody gives them enough credit.
Well, no, I was gonna say like on the flip side of that, you can be a voice actor and live your life normally. You don't have to be a part of like that, like the fame, everybody knowing who you are. You can live in a relative like anonymity and just like live your life and get paid well, because voice acting pays very well. You can get paid well for it and just live your normal life, which is kind of the cool aspect of it. Then again, you don't, if you want to like get to that level of fame like or whatever, Kenny. You can. Yeah.
Well, even then, Tom Kenny is famous amongst people who like know cartoons.
No, like not
Tom Kenny in particular. I'm talking about just like you watch a lot of cartoons, so you're starting to see the names over and over again. Like
actually, I genuinely don't, because I don't look at the credits and I don't look at like the names of things. But eventually, I learned Tom Kenny because I started watching interviews with him, and I'm like, oh, he's doing all the different voices, and it was like, oh, I know that character. So technically, it was just because I just watched a bunch of interviews with him for YouTube, because just YouTube gets me there. So Tom Kenny has reached more fame because of the amount of work he does and the particular characters he does. Because I mean, you can be a voice actor and like not be in the biggest of things. You're just like, oh yeah, I remember them from that. But like Tom Kenny, if anything, he does, bringing it back, he does SpongeBob, which has had an influence on multiple generations, and it's still going, and kids are still watching it. And SpongeBob is definitely one of those cartoons. People can be like, I don't care about it. SpongeBob is really a cartoon, is you love it or you hate it. I've never met anybody who's not on one side or the other. Like my friend.
But
Greg
I more
hates
so
it.
run into people who love it.
Yeah, I have
Most
one-
people do. I mean, now granted, once you start getting to the nuance of it, you might meet some people who are like, I like the early stuff. I don't like the later seasons.
Right.
Or vice versa.
I think that's the general consensus. I also run into some people, a lot of people actually, who are like, yeah, my parents never let me watch SpongeBob as a kid because they thought it was too, like gross or stupid or nonsensical or whatever. So there's those people who have no opinion on SpongeBob because they just never watched it.
Yo, you know when something's popular though? The true mark of when something's popular is when it has a terrible looking popsicle. That's how you know it's popular, because them SpongeBob popsicles, not a single one looks like that damn package.
the gumball
Not
eyes
a
always
single
like
one.
right here. The
It's
eyeballs
always
right
down.
there.
I always, you know how I know that? Because Spider-Man is the same way. His popsicle don't look nothing like it's supposed to look on that package.
And you know what those two characters have in common as well? They also have characters on Hollywood Boulevard in New York. So that is also a hallmark of
and
something
both have
popular
musicals.
too.
Well, Spider-Man did have a musical, and then people kept dying, so
Yeah.
so they had to cut
Nobody
that down.
died.
That's true. Nobody died, but I mean, it was close. People were hospitalized at least. But SpongeBob got their musical, which we watched some of when we were at your place, Jonathan. And it was actually pretty decent. I think the only reason I didn't stick with it is because I was like, I'm sorry, I want to see the cartoon. I don't want to see a bunch of people in live action walking around with suspenders.
Yeah, and I'd rather watch it in person as well versus on a screen.
Yeah.
I'd rather feel the
Squidward kind of freaked me out. The live action Squidward was a little like, I'm not comfortable watching.
I love how Patrick's one is just a dude in a shirt and and shorts. Like they could not be bothered to even just paint him pink or nothing. He just showed up.
He's in a pink shirt and the Hawaiian pants. I wonder, like, all the characters actually wear pants except for the random fish. Like the background fish only wear t-shirts. None of them wear pants, except for one. Actually, one. He does there. I know what he looks like too. He's a blue fish. He's always wearing a white shirt and red shorts.
And those fish have names as well.
Yeah,
if you look them up, they actually have
SpongeBob
names.
canon. Every single one of them have names.
Like
look on the
my
screen.
leg guy
I'm gonna place them. Yeah, I found that out. I was like, what? Why?
Hey man, I appreciate the dedication. That's pretty cool. Everybody has names.
Look to the screen. I don't know where I am when it comes to recording this video, but look near the bottom, I guess. And I'll put some of the characters' names and what the fish, because like that is interesting, and that is an attention to detail. Do you think they eventually did it, or do you think they were one of those people that like right off the bat they're like, all right, we're gonna do this because why? Because we're just doing it because we want it.
Well, I think it's probably a thing where when they were animating the show when it was early on, they probably made those characters just to be like background characters. And then they were like,
oh, but they needed to reference.
Well, not, or rather, I think it was, why make new characters? We could just keep using these same background characters. And that's why the same models are always used in every every episode of SpongeBob. So it's like they have names because we only made a small amount of them, and then we just kept using them over and over and over again.
And they probably need to reference them when they're making the show. Like, all right, are we gonna put Cindy in this scene, Jerry in this scene? Yeah, so like,
yeah, maybe
probably for their use.
Yeah, I mean the old man, for example, like how many times you gotta keep teaching you this lesson, old man. It's just like that old man has been used in he has easily died in so many SpongeBob episodes.
The rest of the characters,
and he keeps coming back.
What is your guys' favorite SpongeBob episode?
See, that's hard for me to say. I've got a group of them. Like I've got a series of them that are my favorite.
What is the one you like can remember scene from scene?
The one I usually go to is chocolate with nuts.
The chocolate.
Just like
chocolate.
I feel like
I remember chocolate.
Wow, that was really
I forgot it. That was very good. Secondly, I forgot that, so I was super confused. But then I remember it. Chocolate. All right.
I remember how much I hated it. Like go. Like I just love when she's talking to her daughter. Like I hate you. Don't stand there, Mary. You come over here and start rubbing with that chocolate.
I feel like my favorite episodes are the ones that infuriate me. Like Chocolate with Nuts, that one infuriated me.
Why did it infuriate you?
Well, yeah, I'm about to say I love that episode, especially the dude at the end, and he's just like, "I was born with paper mache skin."
That dude made me mad. That dude made me mad.
Oh, because he was a con artist.
Uh-huh.
You know what though?
And
To
also,
be
Let
fair,
go
they
of my
deserve.
flesh.
Fool me once, shame on me. Like shame on you. Fool me twice. He got them twice, 2 times.
Thank you.
Also the episode where Patrick's parents come to visit. Patrick's parents come to visit. I think it's I'm with Stupid. Is that the episode?
I
think so.
Mhm.
I'm with you. That one, I didn't like that one at all.
That one made me so mad.
A lot of people have issue with that episode because like they've now made a new Patrick spin-off show
series
where
that's
you
right.
meet his family and they're like, that's not his parents. Those aren't
Like
his parents.
the people at the end that really show up that are allegedly his parents.
Mhm.
So those aren't his parents in the series.
Right. And it's a completely different family. Although there's implications that they might also not be his family either, and that Patrick's just some random place. It's weird. I haven't watched it. So
I love
can't
how
speak to that,
there's
but it's, like,
dark
really weird.
undertones to SpongeBob.
Right.
And I love it.
So is Patrick like an orphan or something? Like is he?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen a starfish eat? I saw it once and I don't like it. That's something no human should ever see. It messed me up. I like my favorite episode above all is the Just One More Bite episode with Squidward when he
Wow,
like
that's a great
just goes
episode.
crazy and is like, I want all of it. Because I'm somebody, thanks to my lovely sensory issues and the fact that I can't eat certain stuff because it just bothers me. I like have certain foods, safe foods. And so I'm like one of those like, oh, it's so good. And when I finally get to eat something new and my brain isn't like, this is disgusting, I get so excited. I will just eat it constantly because I'm so excited. So I felt Squidward in that moment. I was like, I am Squidward in this moment. I will do anything to eat this food because it's great. So I like really resonated with him in that episode, even as a kid. But it's also funny, like one of my favorite facial expressions SpongeBob makes is in that episode when he's going like, "Oh, why are you sweaty? Why is the Krabby Vault open?
Yeah, he does that.
Why is that?"
And he just
And I was just like, I love that face of his.
You
He's
like Krabby Patties, don't you,
Don't you,
Squidward?
Yeah, that's like easily one of my favorite facial expressions of SpongeBob.
And you know that episode, that same episode, I think we talked about it, but they pulled the scene in the scene where Squidward is in the middle of the night and he's running over to the Krusty Krab to get some more Krabby Patties. There's a beginning part where he enters the door and he's trying to with the security. He gets like,
it looks like there's a bucket above him.
Right.
Like,
but it's
this is our
actually
security system.
Yeah, and it's actually gas, and then he gets lit on fire. That episode aired near 9/11, and so after 9/11, that part of the scene was pulled.
Because there was actually 2 explosions. Like he got into the kitchen, and then there was another bucket of gasoline. So 2 explosions right off the bat. I can see why at the time you wouldn't want to show that on TV.
Yeah.
But it's still easily one of my most favorite episodes. Just like he digs the Krabby Patty out of the dirt and like eats it. He's like, it's so good.
My favorite is when he digs out the trash, and then he's like, looks in it, he's eating all the trash and not the.
And then when he goes to eat the burger, like SpongeBob just rips it out of his hand and like throws it away.
Yeah,
or burns it.
He burns it. He throws it into a furnace, and Squidward's like, my favorite is probably the manly man like club with Sandy.
Oh, Winnie Hut.
Oh, the Weenie Hut Jr.
Yeah, when he's just like, how tough are you? It's like, you got a bottle of ketchup? Yeah, it's on. It's just like starts trying to open.
Like, can I run it under some water first?
That and also the other one where he's like, I had a bowl of nails for breakfast this morning. So without any milk. Yeah, come on in. Why? And also, what, like, the milk makes it easier? You're
Right.
still eating a bowl of nail.
Well, he's like, everybody eats, cereal for breakfast. What makes you so special? I don't use milk now. Like, oh, I mean, I think you'd be crazy cereal. Actually, if you eat it from the box, I feel like it's okay to like eat cereal. That's like snackage. But if you're putting like just cereal in a bowl and then eating it with like a spoon without the milk, that's psychopath behavior.
Oh yeah, you're a psycho. There's no
yeah,
way.
you're absolute psycho.
can't
That's
be
the same with
trusted.
males. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Squilliam Returns is another favorite episode of mine. It's when
Oh yeah,
Squidward takes over the Krusty Krab, turns it into a nice restaurant, and
that's a good
breaks
episode.
SpongeBob's brain.
See,
Mhm.
my only one with
The-
Squilliam is when
the Band
when they had
Geeks.
the Super, of course, when the Super
Band
Bowl
Geeks.
or the
Uh-huh.
Bubble Bowl.
I feel like when I talk to people about SpongeBob, the most common favorite episode I get is that one, Bang Geeks.
Yeah. Because it's
I
just
know,
like
it's
a
you
new
were
an
voice
prepared
iconic
for them to
episode.
be trash when they're like, let's get ready, and then when they start busting out the song, do, 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 do.
I preferred Squilliam Returns because I feel like a lot of them were just being jerks, and Squidward was like, "I need your help," and they're all like, "We're gonna play around."
I did enjoy that
but I use
episode.
that. Yeah, but I did
It's a good
enjoy
one.
the fact that that he has little SpongeBob's representing his brain.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "How can you fire us? We're just a figment of his imagination used as a metaphor to describe the reality that's going on in his brain. One more crack out of that, and you're fired. Please, I have 3 kids."
Someone mentioned trash earlier, or the Squidward
Trash.
eating the trash earlier, and that made me think of the health inspector episode where they killed the health inspector.
Oh,
I remember-
yeah.
They didn't kill
The
him.
nasty patty.
They just tried to
They
bury
almost
him
did.
alive.
Yeah.
That I remember watching a YouTube video and someone dissected, I think, all of the offenses that they committed in that episode and how they should have gone to jail towards the beginning of the episode. It was crazy.
That reminds me
Also-
of really quick. There is a clip, I think it was from College Humor or Funny or Die, where it's the Magic School Bus, but they're all teenagers and they have to go get Miss Frizzle out of hell. We're like, that's like really weird. And we're like, let's watch the first episode of Magic School Bus. It was me and my friend Greg, the milk drinker. That's how I will refer
You
to him
keep
now.
making it like a thing. You keep trying making it like it's like
It
it's
is a thing.
crazy thing. It's not really. No,
is.
it's just you.
No. There's rules to milk, and clearly even with the cereal there's rules. We were watching it, and like off the bat we're like, we don't think she has like slips to take the kids out of school, so that's technically kidnapping. That's one offense, and we just listed off the offenses, and we're like, this woman is an endangerment to children and humans in general. I'm like, she needs to be removed from the school system. These kids are learning barely one subject a day, and it's usually one topic in that subject. Like they learned about Pluto, and that was it. They learned mainly about. They didn't learn about the solar Pluto. They learned about
Not
Pluto,
to mention,
which
she's out
doesn't
here
even
threatening
matter.
these kids because it's the second Arnold's like, you know what, Miss Frizzle, I'm gonna tell. Oh, sounds like we're gonna go inside of Arnold again today, y'all. Gonna look at the pancreas real quick. Might I don't know, you might accidentally step on some parts of it, maybe cause you to have a pancreatic attack. I'm just saying,
No.
Arnold.
But like these kids got so scared when Miss Frizzle took their parents. They're like, oh shit, she's gonna kill them, or she's gonna turn them into vampires. I think the episode was. I was like, these kids were afraid of her. There was clearly fear in that. But like, yeah, no, there's certain things where it's like, if you watch a kid's cartoon, especially like late 90s, you could list off the offenses of what occurred. Not like, oh, you're offended. No, like you should be in jail. And I watch cartoons now a lot more than when I was younger. And I watch these shows, and just like with a lot of dramas from the 90s or a lot of sitcoms and stuff like that, I'll just be like, this is terrible. You guys are awful people to each other. Why are you like even like together, or like, why do you know this? I would have walked away. This is a terrible relationship.
See,
like SpongeBob and Patrick. That's actually a really bad relationship.
What about some of the original episodes, like that first season where the animation's a little different. Like
Well, it's older, you know.
Yeah,
It's
right. Like
it's on
but
the
there
cell animation stuff.
right, but there are still some iconic episodes in that set of in that season. I'm thinking the episode where again, yeah, they think they kill Squidward and he ends up haunting them. What else? There's the episode where
the pizza delivery one.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah, that's
I was
iconic.
gonna mention that.
Iconic.
Yeah, the
Is a pizza for you and me.
He's like, "What? Where's my drink? Your drink? Yeah. What, you're going to eat this whole pizza without my drink?"
It was a diet Dr. Kelp.
Right. I'm like, I realized as a kid I got mad
That's
at some of
why
the
I
SpongeBob
said,
episodes.
I'm like, see, Squidward loves SpongeBob because Squidward was like, oh hell no, he
Right.
won't eat this damn pizza.
I was like, really,
way?
you do not have one beverage in your home,
In your house?
not even water. You're surrounded by water. Like,
here's the thing.
Are you really gonna throw a fit?
Here's the thing.
And not now you're out of a drink.
We
and
live in the
pizza.
modern era. You know what it's like to order something on DoorDash and then you get your order. You don't wait all this time, and then something you ordered wasn't in the order.
Dude, I will never order from Buffalo Wild Wings online again. I've done it 3 times, and each single time I have not gotten my order even significantly correct. In fact, it has gotten progressively worse. So the last time I ordered, they didn't even, like, before it was like, okay, I ordered this chicken. All right, they gave me half of it and then half another thing. All right, cool. Second one, all right, they kind of messed up that one. They didn't give me my flavor, but like, okay, they gave me a drink. This one, I didn't get a drink. I ordered spicy garlic. I got like teriyaki something and like Cajun spice. I didn't get my drink. I actually ordered a bottle of sauce too. I didn't get that. So it was like completely wrong order. And I was like, maybe I got somebody else's order. Check the bag. No, it's my name. So I was like, that was they were just like, throw whatever in the bag.
Order
throw
it
whatever.
at the same place.
Yeah, because I'm right down near Seattle.
Do you order it like at wherever? Have you ordered it when you're at the same location?
I order it from their actual website every single time.
Well, I mean, like,
try ordering it through one of the apps, like Door.
No, I don't trust it. The bond is broken. I don't trust them. I don't want to order from them because what happens? What happens if Postmates gets it wrong too? Then that I set myself up for heartbreak because I'm like spicy garlic.
True. But at least through Postmates, at least through like one of the apps, like Postmates or DoorDash, it's happened to me where, like I've had somebody left my food at the leasing office. They're like, you're gonna have to get your food at the leasing office. I'm not walking all the way to your apartment. They left the food at the leasing office. When I walked, no, they didn't say that, but that's how I felt that they said.
That'd be funny if they said that to you. Look, I'm not coming up to your damn apartment. You're going to have to come over to this leasing office to get your food. You're hungry, right? You hungry, right? Okay, you're gonna come get it. You'll be all right. Click.
and then when I walked over there, it wasn't there. Somebody took my food. Oh. So I had to, So I called or I emailed DoorDash. I said, my food is missing. And they gave me my food back and like a $10 credit or something.
I thought you were gonna go like, so I immediately went to my apartment, got Gibson, had him sniff the counter, and then we hunted down that bastard and got my food back.
As somebody who's had Gibson this close to my face, I don't think he would be able to sniff out anything very well.
Food could drop on the ground like 2 feet away from him, and he'd be like, he wouldn't notice.
I gave Cheddar some shrimp, and he did not like it. So this is a seafood free house.
Thinking of pets, I will say that's one of my other favorite episodes is when SpongeBob adopts a jellyfish.
I thought you were going to talk about Gary.
I mean, Gary is awesome too, and there's plenty of awesome Gary episodes, but I just love that episode when he adopts jellyfish, mostly because of the dance. Just the like that segment is legendary when he's doing the dance with the jellyfish.
Mm-hmm.
Going around to Gary though, really quick. There's an episode where Gary runs away, and like I didn't watch that episode when it first came out, but I was watching reruns and I saw this episode. This is around the time Snowball was getting older. I just cried so hard. And that my poor cat had to deal with me like hugging her and squeezing her and just crying all over her. And she's probably like, put me the fuck down. I'm old. I want to go to sleep. And here's me just like, oh, and like that episode still breaks my heart. I'll probably do it to Cheddar if I ever watch that episode because it's so heartbreaking. And like it's all because like SpongeBob, I think, forgot to feed Gary in the morning. So Gary's like, I'm out of here. Which is like kind of what now a little bit older. I'm like, what a spoiled brat. My parent didn't feed me once, so I'm running
Listen,
away.
that snail can do poetry, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He is not just a regular snail. He is like legendary, and he should
There
be
was-
taken
Because
care of.
Sandy
There was
thinks
that
he has a
one
way with
episode-
world doesn't mean he does.
There was that one episode where SpongeBob invaded everybody's dreams. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Gary was like talking with the British accent.
He was very articulate.
Mm-hmm.
Smart
think-
snail.
If you ever invaded one of your pet's dreams, what do you think you'd find, John? You don't have a pet, Jerome. We need to get you
Say
one.
I don't have one.
Well, we're gonna get you a singular like beta fish. He does. The beta fishes don't need much. So you only have to have one in like a tank.
But
Fine.
you gotta
I-
get another. You gotta get another beta fish for him to hang out with, or else. they
No,
get
beta fishes are
lonely.
supposed to be alone.
No, they get lonely. You just
Okay.
can't get like another of the same gender, or else they'll like fight each other.
What do you think
Um,
Jude Gibson's dream about?
I think he's probably, well, I mean, food would probably be the obvious answer. But he's probably dreaming about which dog he's gonna bark at next.
Isn't that what
Um,
your dog just does? He just barks at other dogs.
no, he's not.
Is he a self-hating dog?
No, he barks sometimes. There's certain dogs that he barks at, and they're usually bigger dogs. Other dogs, he's like, oh, I want to come and play with you. But other dogs, he's like, I'm gonna bark at you, and then I'm gonna play with you. He just wants to make his presence known before
I think-
he initiates the action of playmate.
What do you think
of-
about?
Cheddar
Sorry.
just thinks of food. No, I was gonna say Cheddar just thinks of food.
What do you think about the idea that like they've also tried? Because I remember a while back, Nickelodeon for Pride Month, they did a like post on their social medias of being like, "Hey, Happy Pride, everybody!" And they posted like all of their Pride characters, including like that was like Cora, another character
And
from some cartoon I don't watch.
I remember SpongeBob
was on there. And I remember being like, SpongeBob is a part of the LGBT community. In what
Yeah,
way?
because
I think they've said that he's like asexual.
Asexual. Mhm.
Yeah.
The creator announced that he was asexual.
Which
I
is
mean,
like,
I could see that.
isn't almost every cartoon character asexual though? Because they're never gonna have those characters having sex on television.
Okay. Do I need to replay you the episode we did about asexuality?
No, I'm talking about.
it's not
I'm
a-
talking about
it's-
because it's like now a lot more cartoons are having more like cartoon characters.
Well, no,
have
it's
relationships
it's
and
not
stuff
about
like
like
that. But I'm just saying,
actual like sex. It's just about attraction. Like I'm not really that attracted to like people or anything.
but SpongeBob's been in
um,
love before.
With
Wait,
what?
he has?
I think so.
When?
He's also blushed when Mr. Krabs calls him pretty.
Right. There's
Or you know
there's
what?
that scene.
I may be projecting because I think he's in love with Squidward. I still think that.
Well, there's that scene where he's like, bye, Mr. Krabs, bye, Squidward.
That is
Patrick, Patrick's like, you said bye, Squidward twice. He's like, I like
Squidward.
Squidward.
Exactly. I'm just like I've always ever since that episode I've been like SpongeBob likes Squidward. That's why he keeps living there.
I
Right,
mean,
the fact Squidward treats him like trash.
he literally pops up in Squidward's bathtub. And for anybody watching the YouTube or even listening, I call myself queer, but like, you know, for the YouTube people, I still refer to myself as queer because I don't think it's anybody's real business what my sexuality is. And people also make stupid comments when they find out you're like not straight. And I'm just like, you know what? No for you. No more for you. I would definitely say SpongeBob is in love with Squidward. Like they all fell in love with Patrick for a while when he dressed like a girl. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I remember that.
Oh my god, he's such
That's one of the newer episodes, I think. Not newer
Is it?
because
it's like mid
yeah,
years.
because all the it's weird. The episodes that we think of and we reference all the time, like the classics, all of those episodes are before like the year 2003. Anything after 2003 is what everyone considers like the newer episodes.
I feel like I never remember. Like I'm like, oh, this episode's like, yeah, later in the years. They're like, no, this episode is from like the third season. Well, like the Squidward one I referenced was Squilliam. That's from the third season, I found out. And like my brain's like, no, that's like got to be from like at least the seventh or the eighth. No, it's from the third season, and it's mind-boggling to me because like eventually you end up like mixing up the episodes because you're like, yeah, this wouldn't play on something like today, or yeah, this wouldn't have like gone and been a good episode back then. It's like, oh, this is really just all merging together because in the end, it's just a sponge that's laughing chaotically.
Which that's a thing about SpongeBob too, is how it has been able to continue to operate despite like and SpongeBob isn't always very risque or violent, but there are like a few moments where I'm surprised that got past the censors, like
the toenail.
No, will you? I swear to God, Jonathan.
Not even the toenail thing. Like, I mean, that's probably one, but I'm thinking about even before that, like the episode when Plankton swaps places with Mr. Krabs, and Mr. Krabs is like operating, like is like attacking the Krusty Krab naked, and then he just like gets up and he has a bra on. Like, there is a time where that probably would not have been allowed on
like,
television.
Damn, you clothed me.
Because even if he's a cartoon crab, it's still so suggestive enough that they would be like, no, you can't.
You know what episode I was actually really surprised they aired, and people actually ended up loving it? The swearing one, because you knew which word they were saying.
Oh yes.
Even with the dolphin noise, like you knew which word they were referencing. And it's like that's like considered one of the worst words, which I have said like 5 times in the last half an hour we have been recording. So if you listen closely. So I was actually surprised they allowed that episode to air because I'm like, you really know with the content, with those sentence they are saying, you know what word they're exactly putting in there. And it's really funny to me.
Kids probably don't.
There's like a certain age. I mean, I can't remember.
Probably once you hit like about like middle school, maybe you might know.
Still, like parents are watching this with their kids. Parents are the reason there's a lot of good shows got canceled.
Oh, my parents didn't watch SpongeBob with me. They were like, SpongeBob's on, he'll be all right.
Right, same.
And left the room.
I remember every time I would go over my grandma and cousin's house, I remember whenever I got there, I would just watch SpongeBob. That is what would start my day. I went there every day one summer, and in the morning, that's what would be on it. And I would just watch SpongeBob in the morning until I would like play with my cousins later in the day.
My mom has ADHD like me and my sister, so she likes SpongeBob as well because SpongeBob is a lot like us. And then I think she also watched it because she likes to watch certain shows I think remind her of me and my sister. Because SpongeBob is definitely a lot like my sister, and then I'm a lot like Squidward, or I used to be. I'm like aging back into him, but like it was like that. They're like, oh, it's like my baby. It's like, stop putting us in cartoon characters. Because she used to call me Mandy from Billy and Mandy, the Grim Adventures.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's a deadpan voice in the.
You want to talk? We got to do a retrospective of dark cartoons because it's like Billy and because that was a weird era for cartoons.
Courage,
Billy and Mandy was on. Courage was on. Zim was on. Like there was some like.
Zim Zim, but I love
Zim got dark.
Courage the Cowardly Dog is still and will always be my favorite cartoon because I don't know what it's about. I don't know why I love it so much, but like I even as an adult, I will watch every episode so closely, and I enjoy it. It makes me happy, and I
On
don't
HBO
know
Max.
why.
You know, there's gonna be a
I have
The
watched
Cowardly
that.
Dog movie.
No, it's not. You liar.
I'm serious. Look it
Yeah,
up
they're
right
doing a
now.
movie. Yeah, they're doing a movie.
I learned really quick. That's also a trait my mom does. That I picked. I guess I
What?
picked her. She just says liar sometimes. When I'll say something, she's like, "No, you liar," and I'm like, "What the hell?" And now I realize that I do it too.
Back to the swearing episode of SpongeBob. Arthur also had a similar swearing episode where DW, you probably remember, yeah.
I'm just thinking,
that.
I was thinking him when he made that fist. It was the like when he no, it's not the same episode. When he hit DW, it's like the whole world was like, "Thank you, God damn." She's like, "No, don't punish him. This is."
And Arthur got in trouble for that. Yeah,
He's been getting
There
fist
is a
waiting for
clear
a
lack
long
of discipline
time.
in that household.
Because I remember when he made that fist, I was like, "Do it, Arthur." I was like the Emperor Palpatine behind Darth Vader. Do it. Like
he like punched her in the shoulder.
I know, but still.
What is it? I literally posted on my Instagram. Me and my sister in her 30s now. She was like we were wrestling. I don't know if you can see from the video, like she's lying on top of me. I'm holding onto her ears and she's like grabbing my like love handles, and we're just yanking at each other, yelling, "You let go, no, you let go."
It's why
So,
when
like,
the show ended and she was a cop, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, that makes sense. She'd be a cop." She bet she turns off her body cam too.
but anyway, have you seen those compilations with like DW just roasting the living daylights out of everyone?
yeah.
She would put some good ones in there. But
She was
that
mean to Francine. I remember a few episodes where I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, what the fuck are you going after Francine like that? Like, what'd she do to you? She's always trying to. Francine was cool. Was it Yeah, Francine. That was Arthur's best friend.
Yeah, she was really nice. She was cool.
Mhm.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, she was.
She was cool.
But the swearing episode, they beeped out every time like DW or whatever said that word. And I remember seeing a video, and this guy, he would like try to determine what the word was.
Fill it back in.
Yeah, because it's weird. They're saying multiple syllables out of their mouths, but not a lot of swear words have like multiple syllables, so it's hard to determine what the word is.
It depends.
I'm wondering.
No. Actually, swear words. It's well, I was gonna be like the F word. Like fuck. It can be like a verb, a noun, a descriptive. It can be all this stuff. So it becomes multiple syllables. So like depending on the context of the word, I mean there are ways to make it multiple. So like,
no, syllables are how you pronounce the word. Meanings is what is with your definition.
No, I know what you mean. I know
stuff.
that, but like when you put like ing at the end of something, it makes the word longer.
Oh,
add
see.
syllables.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I'm curious because Clancy Brown can cuss, man. Like he so I'm wondering if when Mr. Krabs at the end of that episode just spills them all out, if they honestly were just like, Clancy, just go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead.
On Paramount Plus, they need to put an MA-rated version of SpongeBob, or
Dexter's
that
Lab has an
episode
episode actually
There
like
was-
that too, where there's the Dexter's Laboratory episode where Dexter accidentally clones himself and Dee Dee, but it's like the bad versions of them, and they do curse. Like,
I love that there's always a child where they're like, cursing's wrong, and here's why. Even though the characters are having super fun with it, it's bad. I used to say the word damn a lot when I was younger. I didn't know that was a swear word until somebody pointed it out to me, and I asked my mom, like, why are you letting me say damn? That's apparently a curse word. She's like, look, you could be saying a lot worse. She's like, a lot of my mom's parenting techniques was like, it could be worse. So I'm just gonna let this go.
I like how as a little kid, little Alex was scolding her mom for not
not being
like,
stricter.
why didn't you stop?
Right.
Look, things you could have done worse. All right, I'm gonna let this one go. Because like, I told her, by the time I came around, that poor woman, she was just like, just it wasn't even like, don't get pregnant, don't get arrested. She's like, just graduate high school. She's like, just it, please. She was like, just have this one. She was like, nothing else. Just do that for me. I was like, I barely, but I did it. But what was I gonna say? Now I forgot.
I'm about to say you were
I
trying
lost
to,
my I lost
on a
my train of
tangent
thought.
there.
What
lost my
what
train of thought.
I was gonna mention. So
Oh wait, no,
we
I remember really quick.
okay.
You and me, Jonathan, we found an episode where they put in swear words. Remember? We were looking.
Oh yeah.
Another episode that we referenced a lot when we worked at the Science Center was the night shift. And every time we did something, we would say at night.
And we were just trying to find the because there was no Paramount Plus that had at the time, and we were just trying to watch on YouTube.
Because we were like, how do you say the hash slinging slasher? And we're like, let's watch the episode.
Hash ringing, hash slinging, dinging,
hash ringing.
And then like 30 seconds in,
it's SpongeBob complaining about the night shift. Hey Squirter, isn't this fucking stupid? And we're like, whoa, this is not SpongeBob. Like it had the normal opening and we're like, whoa. And it's so funny our reaction because we did go like, whoa.
Right.
Cheddar,
that was funny. Oh,
Cheddar's just
Cheddar's
like,
some Mission Impossible over here.
It's all right.
Oh, he does his best. Cheddar, please, no nudity.
I was gonna say, what do you guys like? What did you guys? Because when the show was out, it was like that was dope. But I remember, much like when the Powerpuff Girls did the same thing, when they were like coming to theaters, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I was like, oh shoot, they're making a movie and it's animated. We gotta go. Like we gotta go see. So what would you guys think about like the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, like when that was announced? Because that was like the first time that in a long time. I think the only other one had been Powerpuff Girls as far as like big budget, like it's gonna be in theaters movie.
Well, Rugrats did it first.
That's true.
They had two movies before,
but theirs didn't look as clean. Like SpongeBob was like
no, Rugrats looks clean.
Rugrats in Paris looks clean.
Oh yeah, defensive or like.
But I will say also though, I'll give you this. Also though, everything is animated. SpongeBob was like, not only is it going to be animated, we're also going to go to live action too. David Hasselhoff's our movie.
I went with like a bunch of my little cousins, but I was like actually super excited to see it because I was like, oh yeah, it was because I don't remember seeing the Rugrats movie in theaters because that's when I was really young. And then after that, it was only like, oh, you have like an hour special of like Jimmy Neutron or Timmy Turner or like other shows like that. This
also,
was
for those who
the
want to
first
say
time.
Jimmy Neutron did it first. No, Jimmy Neutron was a movie first, then was a show. It don't count.
I never seen the movie, and I don't think I've ever
had
any desire.
The movie is good, but I will say like
the soundtrack.
The show is better. I think the movie is like a great like proof of concept. And then the show takes that concept and like makes it even better and goes way bigger with it.
Oh, that's my bad. Okay.
They've done that with a lot of Nickelodeon. I've noticed they've done that with a lot of Nickelodeon things though. Like they'll have a movie and then they'll make it into a TV series like Kung Fu Panda or Barnyard or Jimmy Neutron.
I'm about to say because I mean Jimmy Neutron's the exception to that rule, but DreamWorks, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Is they take all of their, because they did the same thing with How to Train Your Dragon. Like they had How to Train Your Dragon movies, then they made like a bunch of shows.
Oh, I love How to Train Your Dragon movies. I'm still such a nerd for those. I want a little dragon.
Barnyard was the one that was like the other exception where Barnyard was a movie first. And then the movie, I love how the show though completely undoes the movie. Like characters that were in the movie don't even come up in the show. And the lesson Otis learns at the end of the movie, he definitely did not learn because the whole show is how he has no responsibility and does not care about anybody but himself.
Well, eventually he's supposed to turn into like his. Also, Otis is a cow. Cows are girls.
A lot of people brought that up too. They were like, Otis is cannot be a cow with udders because that's women in the
he would, yeah, he'd have a bull. But there are no bulls on the show. Well, I guess it's a farm, so they're just there for milking. If I see a
That's
cow
like
on the
the
side of the road, I tend to move still at it to this day.
oh.
If I see a cow, I gotta move.
Um
Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, what I was just gonna say is, so it's weird. First of all, we haven't talked at all about Mrs. Puff during this episode, and I'm
I
a
was
little
gonna bring up
offended.
Mrs. Puff earlier, but then we kept talking about other things, so I kept forgetting. But Mrs. Puff. That was one of my other favorite episodes when Mrs. Puff like gives him extra credit, and she's like, "My favorite thing at boarding school is." And
I like how they explain what happened to Mr. Puff. It's like,
Oh yeah, he got
she
turned
doesn't
into
like
like a
to, and it's like
decorative.
it's a lamp. It's like, oh fuck,
and
man.
then like when she gives him his thing that she's dreaming about what it's gonna be like, and he's just running people over,
Which wasn't far.
It makes me laugh. It's true, because it's like SpongeBob is a terrible driver. I don't know why she doesn't just go like, look, you need to drop out. Okay, you have been here far too long and have not learned a single thing since you got here.
And is
It's the
he
same
paying
reason-
for all of these classes?
Yeah.
He has to be, because if this was free, she would have kicked him out by now.
Well, it's the same way with like my therapist. If they told me actually how to fix myself, they wouldn't get paid. All right. She's getting paid by him being there all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure he's the reason she gets a new boat.
Yeah.
All his money.
I mean, she's
but-
to be fair though, she's a negligent teacher though, because when that one kid flats, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna kick SpongeBob's butt. She just does nothing to help him. She is no help at all.
What is she supposed to do?
She's the
But-
teacher. Kick him out the class.
They're adults. They're technically all adults. And
I'm
SpongeBob
on-
handles
SpongeBob is
it
definitely
in the end.
not an adult. I refuse to give that to SpongeBob. He is a
He's
child in
over
a man's
18.
body.
He's over 18.
I'm on the Mrs. Puff wiki because I needed to look up. I forgot the name of the voice actress who plays her, Mary Jo Catlett.
Mary Jo Catlett. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And first of all,
She's in your
first
favorite
of all,
movie,
about
Jonathan. She's in Serial
yes,
Mom.
Serial Mom. That's the thing I was going to mention is like, it's always weird when people who equally do as much voice work as they do on camera, like live action work, and you tend to usually associate their voice with whatever character they're playing. So anytime I see Mary Jo Catlett in something like live action, she's always going to be Mrs. Puff to me. And I know that she's cool with like people on the street, like she's cool with like pretending to be Mrs. Puff when she gets approached on the street, because I saw a video and people were like, hey, can you say whatever line? And she says the line as Mrs. Puff.
I think it's gotta be fun to have like almost like adults look at you in like wonderment when you do that type of voice. Cause like I know I would look at them like, you are Mrs. Puff. Like I turn back into that kid. It's like it's gotta be. I feel like I don't know. It might be annoying to them eventually, but for me, like it must feel like so good to see like the almost like the youngness, the innocent return to like an adult's face and being like, oh, we're just kids. Going on that real quick, Jonathan. Bill Farbark, however you say his last name, he is in the movie Jennifer's Body with Megan Fox. Yeah, he plays the coach who his son dies and he screams out and curses, but he does it in Patrick Woods because it's his voice. He sounds like Patrick, and it's hilarious to hear because it's like it sounds like Patrick's like that whole scene was just like this is just Patrick like being upset. So it's like it was so funny. I'll post it on like Instagram because I have it saved on my phone. It's such an enjoyable moment for me. I don't know anymore.
But she's great, especially that episode when her and Mr. Krabs are like dating, and he's just like, it's not gonna be like this or
Crusty
this
Love.
or this. We're talking about this.
Crusty Love. Side note: there is a wiki for Mr. Puff, and it says Mr. Puff is Mrs. Puff's deceased husband. He was killed by humans who then turned him into a light bulb cover for a lamp. He only makes a brief appearance in the
Shouldn't
episode.
she be called Miss Puff?
No, she's still Mrs. Puff.
Well, that was the thing in the episode, because he was like, well, you're Mrs. Puff, so I assume there's a Mr. Puff. And then that's when the lamp comes into play.
SpongeBob was like, no, he's like, oh, what happened to Mr. Puff? And SpongeBob's like, she doesn't really like to talk about it. And it shows the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this got dark. But then again, in the SpongeBob movie, the original one, the guy in the scuba diver's outfit tries to dry out SpongeBob and Patrick.
Yeah, because he dries out like sea creatures and then makes them into
because it's like
Right.
everywhere. Which I was like, this is kind of dark for the cartoon movie. Like it literally almost has them dying, and then their tears, like I believe, create a short circuit with the light or something.
Which I don't know what it is with cartoons. They always do that. Where like the second they get a movie, they're like, all right, now it's time to kill a main character. And it's like, it's always
we're
like,
gonna just kill
like
you temporarily, but you're gonna die.
Well, like, because the main one, the first one to really do it was Transformers. When Transformers had their movie, like Transformers movie, all the kids were super excited to go see it. Little did they know that Optimus Prime was going to die at the end of the movie. And it's like, why would you do that? You brought all these kids here to cry? Is that what it is? And then they don't revive him. The cartoon just continues with Optimus just dead. And Rodimus Prime is now in
least
charge.
It brought SpongeBob and Patrick back. I mean, that's a kind of a cry. Like, oh, we're just gonna kill them off. We're gonna have all the kids in one room, so we know that they're watching it. We're making sure the children watch Optimus Prime die. So, all right.
Sorry, I'm still on the Mrs. Puff wiki page, and I'm learning some interesting information. It says the idea for Mrs. Puff and her boating school was what saved the show from being passed on by Nickelodeon. If Steven Hillenburg did not fulfill Nickelodeon's request that SpongeBob attends a school, they would not have agreed to greenlight the first season.
I guess that makes sense to give him more like childish behaviors that like make sense. Because he's like still
because every character in the show is an adult. They're not kids.
Yeah, because the kids wouldn't be able to relate. You need something to relate to SpongeBob for the kids to relate to SpongeBob.
See, you say that, but it's like I never like when I was a kid, I didn't care about the driving school. I mean, it was fun, it was funny, but I was like, I want to see this fry cook have adventures at the restaurant.
I don't know what I was expecting out of the show. I was just
it's no different than
it was colorful.
Powerpuff Girls' original name was the Whoop Ass Girl. That was the original pitch for Powerpuff Girls. They were the Whoop Ass Girls, and they would the joke being that they would open up a can of whoop ass and consume it, and then they'd be powerful and kick ass.
Wow.
But of course, needless to say, when he pitched it, Nickelodeon nor Cartoon Network was going for that. So they're like, you need to change this name.
One of my favorite episodes is in Powerpuff Girls when the teacher's like, hey, the girls are fighting too much crime. They need a bedtime. And he's like, all right, 9 a.m. everybody goes to bed. And they get good sleep, but like the city's destruction, which is kind of nice because the dad shows like, I'm caring about your health. I don't care about the city. Go to sleep. Be children. But then they're like, it's daylight savings. They're like, oh my God, we get an extra hour. And they go and kick all the ass in town, and then they get to go to bed. I was like, but like, I mean, that was like a nice experience to like watch because I was like, oh, they care. And also like school comes first before like fighting things. Will you not do that? Where are you going?
Cheddar is on one today. He's just like he's trying to get your
parkour.
Marco,
I don't know what's going on over there.
As we should probably wrap this episode.
Yeah, I think we're like
soon.
We could talk for hours upon hours about
SpongeBob. But I just want to say in conclusion, SpongeBob has had a lasting impact, and one of the things that we didn't really talk about is the fact that it's still very relevant today in the form of memes. The SpongeBob memes are out of control, and I love it.
Last forever, bro.
Yeah.
Imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, the imagination one
is everywhere.
I just love any of the ones with just a screenshot of the background characters and someone's like added in a cell phone that they're looking at, or like they've added some nails onto and like a wig onto the character, and they're just like, anyways.
There's
like
one where they did that to Squidward, and he's like this because he was like about to talk shit to SpongeBob, and he's just like, and he's got like the nails and everything.
See, the soiled it one makes me laugh every time. The soiled it. what? I just said this is too much sauce. It's like, what is wrong with you? Calm it down.
Like, what did Plankton do in that universe that made Squidward that messed up?
What's going to mess up? He just worked at the
No,
Krusty Krab.
Plankton. What did Plankton do in that universe? Because no, that was the
Because
episode where it was a
where they switch bodies.
yeah.
Plankton
So
and
what
Mr.
was
Krabs.
Plankton doing to SpongeBob that made him have such a reaction that he's like, I soiled it?
Yeah, because SpongeBob is a perfectionist. And so he was like, he kept asking Plankton, he's like, I'm here for my review. He's like, oh, okay, well, you're doing great. He's like, no, but I need to like be working on something.
know
like,
what?
what is
I
it that I'm
can't-
not working on? And he's like, okay, I guess that you're putting too much sauce on the burger. And then SpongeBob just freaks out. And it's just like,
I do
I
that.
tried to give you an out, but
do that all the time actually, because like
Well-
I make stuff and then I give it to people and they're like, oh, this is I'm like, no, what's wrong with it? They're like, nothing. I'm like, no, tell me what is wrong with this right now. And they're like, nothing's wrong with it. I'm like, then find something wrong with it and tell me. And I've done that to like friends, and like my sister's the same way, so she like gets it, so she'll automatically tell me what's wrong, and when she doesn't, I'm like upset with her. I'm like, no, you know what this is, tell me what I did wrong, and then you can like tell me what I did good.
Well, we know that SpongeBob is a perfectionist from that episode with the pickles, and what's his name, dude? He says you forgot the pickles, and suddenly SpongeBob doesn't know how to make a Krabby Patty anymore.
He had a
Like
total mental breakdown.
what's his name? Like is it Bubble Bass?
I think so, actually.
I think his name was Bubble Bass.
I think it's actually Bubble Bass.
And then he has to go in the gym and get his mojo back. And then he's like, no pickle. He's like, wait a minute. And he pulls out his tongue. He's like, he's been hiding the pickles underneath his tongue the entire time.
SpongeBob's hands are probably so dirty. I don't think he washes them properly.
I mean, they all live in the ocean. They live in a bathroom.
I don't know if you're
I
trying
used
to
to
make
be-
it better or what.
I used to be able to do the, this is very random, but I used to be able to do that whole thing like with
You got to practice, Jonathan. He's above you.
I just love the breath in the middle. He's just like, God damn.
I got something in my eye.
That's one of my favorite episodes too, when he's just the training video. He's like,
The
sounds
training-
like a lot.
Mhm.
Sounds like a lot.
It like broke the formula of the traditional episode.
It did, because it made it a little documentary. I liked
Mhm.
also the one with the commercial where he just points out, look, there I am.
Oh yeah.
Look, there's my hand.
Yeah, the
Then he thinks
SpongeBob when
he's
he's just in the corner. There's me again. He's just like, you're not in the commercial, dog. Like, it's
When
just
you-
like Monsters Inc. when Mike Wazowski's like excited to see himself
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Monsters Inc. commercial, and then the logo comes up, and Sully's like, I'm so sorry. That was incredible. Did you see me? I was in the commercial.
I did that to Jonathan for Man in the High Castle, because you couldn't
Oh
really
yeah.
see you,
Mhm.
but I was able to spot you though. And there was one where you're like
Yeah.
sitting on a bus or a train or something, and you were like, how did you
Were
even
you
see
in
me?
that show as an extra?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
He's in like
Cool.
4 days. 4
Yeah.
days filming, and you can only see the back of my head.
no, there's one where you're walking through a door. It's quick and blurry, but you can spot you. But that's what I did to. I was like, I found you through the door, and then on the train, I was like, that one's you, and you're like, how did you know? I'm
know
like, I
what?
know the back of your head.
It'd be like that though, because I was in a short film and I was an extra, and I showed it to my family because I was so proud of it that I helped my friends make it. And every time I was on screen, even if I was in the background, you could barely see the look at Jay. There he is. He's back there. It's just like they're so proud that I'm just like a nameless character with no lines in the background.
I'm always proud of you guys when I see you randomly in things.
Anyway.
Well,
We need
anyway.
to end
That
Uh,
being said,
in
comment
conclusion-
below. Tell us your favorite SpongeBob moments or thing about SpongeBob or how SpongeBob has impacted your life. Let us know. Share with us. Or just email us at thefirstonesdie@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah, you
Yes.
guys battled there for a second of who was going to end this. For a sec.
All right, socials. Here we go. Jonathan,
Yes.
go.
You can find me on Instagram. Wait, what? You can find me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please. You leave
You
for one
forget-
week and
yeah.
you forget everything.
You forget.
Alex,
We remembered this
go.
time, by the way, at the end of the
True.
episode. We got it correct.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, we
nice.
got it.
We did actually.
We like meticulously were like, this is how you say it. I am at Alex and Nobody on Instagram and on TikTok and soon to be on Twitch as well. And just random social medias, you can probably find me with Alex and Nobody. I also do on TikTok the podcast TikTok, which is the First Ones to Die, where I post little clips of things like this. I will probably post. Next one is probably Cheddar being a crackhead on the episode. I don't know what your deal is
Oh.
tonight, but oh my god, are you?
Oh,
okay?
you okay? I heard you hit the mic.
I heard it and I didn't see it. This is gonna be a fun edit. Are you okay though?
No, I'm fine. It was more of a shock that I just like slammed my head
But
on
you
the mic.
leaned back.
No, I didn't slam it on the mic. It just
It-
like it tapped the
Yeah, you
mic.
tapped it. Yeah.
I please be careful with your.
I'm good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jerome, go. You can find me at at not Jerome Red on Instagram, as well as at Robozy Media and at Jerome_the_show for other creative things I'm working on. And if you want to follow us and find out all the things we're doing, whether that be new episodes, content, extra content, all that stuff, you can follow us at The First Ones to Die on all social media platforms, including the Twitters, Facebooks, Instagrams. If you want to listen to the audio version of the podcast, you can find it anywhere podcasts can be found, such as Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, all those places. And if you want to not only see video versions of all of our podcasts, but also extra content that you can only get exclusively on the YouTube, going over to the YouTube at The First Ones to Die, where you can find vlogs, gaming videos, mini reviews, book reviews, and like I said, video versions of all the podcasts. So go on up there and find extra content that you can't find in the audio version.
And Alexandra.
No, I already did mine.
Oh.
You could. Jonathan, go put ice on your head.
He's got a concussion. He can't remember the last 5 minutes. All right. So next week, maybe Sonic. We don't know.
Possibly.
Possibly. So, tune in next week to hear us possibly do Sonic. If not, we're going to do trivia. It's coming up at some point. Trivia 5. The franchise continues. If you haven't been around for any of our trivia episodes, let me tell you, that is a treat. In fact, before we do Trivia 5, go back, watch Trivias 1 through 4. They're awesome episodes, especially Trivia 3. That's my favorite, but watch the trivia episodes. They're incredible.
I gotta rewatch that. I'm like, why is that your favorite? But yeah, everybody say goodbye.
Bye, y'all. We'll see you next
Bye.
week.
Running split.